Alright guys, I have a bit of an announcement to make before the video starts. TDC Fishing, like we split up pretty much, so we all have our different name channels. So this channel won't leave. The only thing I'll be doing to this channel is changing the name to BIGMOUTHBASSIN. Not BIGMOUTHBASSIN, BIGMOUTHBASSIN. Okay, so all of the videos will still stay on here. I just wanted to let you guys know this so you guys didn't search up TDC Fishing and it not come up. So without further ado, enjoy the video. Alright guys, we have arrived at the pond. Give you guys a quick look of what I'll be fishing today, and we'll get right into it. I'm gonna start off pitching a little 3/8 ounce jig, football head jig. Just gonna be dragging this along the bottom for right now because it's still pretty hot outside, and hopefully these fish are going to be on the bottom. But if they aren't, then I brought a swim jig and a Ned rig. So we'll have to see what the day brings us. There's one. Pretty fish. This is about the third cast of the day, right into those little, looks like a little submerged wood pile. Smack this one on the old football jig, and we'll go ahead and get the release on this little guy. First one of the day. He just kind of picked it up and started running with it. Whoa. He was ready to go. First one of the day. What I'm doing with this jig here, I'm just flipping it, making a short cast into, I don't know if you guys can see, but it's a little bit of submerged brush right there. I'm just kind of casting up in there, just kind of dragging it. That was a bad cast, but kind of dragging it in through there and just feeling it hit off everything I can. And that's usually, well, that's what happened for that first fish. When I kind of dragged it through that first bit of brush, he kind of picked it up and started running with it. But I made these jigs. This is a Boss football head jig with a Boss bluegill colored skirt and a Strike King Baby Rage crawl on there. What? Well, I'll count that as a fish. I mean, he jumped up on the bank. I was just trying to tire him out there. Now, normally, guys, it's not good to make long casts with jigs because you're less likely to feel the bite. And stuff you want to look for when you're throwing a jig is cover such as these little reeds right here. The fish could be hiding in there, and all you have to do is just pitch your jig right in there, and if a fish is there, it'll come out and strike it because it's in an ambush point. So if you can flip your jig, or I don't know if you guys can see that, there's a little tree going into the water right about there, but it goes into the water and there's a bit of like grass around it, so try to flip right up next to it and wait for it to sink to the bottom, or just watch your line or feel it. So okay, now my jig's at the bottom. So what you want to do now is just kind of go up along that tree, and you'll feel it hop over it. And once you feel it hop over, like just now it just hopped over, you want to let it sit there just to make sure that there's nothing under that tree that can possibly see it. And I am in a bad spot. Once you want to just make another cast right up over there. Don't get a rat's nest or overrun. But that's where that first fish came off of that I lost right about there. He came right off that little stump as I flipped over there. He hit it on the fall, actually, off of when I ticked it off over top of the limb, and he just hit it right on the fall. So that's why you want to keep it over there as long as you can in the strike zone, just to make sure that there's no fish over there just sitting, trying to have an ambush point on anything that it's eating in lakes or ponds. Another thing to look for when you are jig fishing, other than laydowns and cover and all that good stuff, just laydowns of logs and all that, you want to be looking for rocky bottom. This pond, there is leaves, as you can see right here, little weeds. That's up by the bank, and along with that there is a sandy, silty type material. You do not want to be throwing that when you don't want to be throwing a jig when you see silty bottom, because all that's going to do is when your jig is going all across the bottom, it's just going to dig into the ground, and the fish is not going to go down there and bite it when it just looks like a big glob of mud moving across the bottom. So you want to look for rocky bottom, and in this pond I know there's rocks on the bottom, so that's why I'm throwing a jig towards the middle instead of casting up on the bank. Anyway, you don't want to start jigging it like this, like that, because that's what most people do, and that really doesn't imitate anything. It imitates nothing, actually. A crawdad scoots across the bottom of the lake or pond, and it just goes across the bottom. It doesn't hop, okay? That's just not what it does. And neither does a bluegill. There's one. That's a pretty good one. Ooh, that's a nice one. See, that's what you're looking for right there. That's a nice 1.5, 2 pounder right there, just right on the bottom. And as I was saying, you don't hop it. You wait till it gets to the bottom, and you slowly drag it across. And look at that hook set. That is a perfect hook set right in the top of the mouth. Go ahead and get him on a hooked, right in the top of the mouth. It's a nice solid fish, really cold fish. He's a solid 1.5, 2 pounder with really nice colors, and that's what you're looking for in a jig fish. But we'll go ahead, let this guy go. There he goes. Back to the bottom. As I was saying before the fish interrupted, I know there's rocks towards the middle of the pond, so that's why I'm casting out towards the middle, and I'm just, like I said, just slowly dragging it across the bottom. That's a good one. Actually, no, he's pretty little. Alright, guys. Another little one. Another fish on the old jig. Same hook set. Same spot right in the top of the mouth there. Another really cold fish. Nice and healthy. Got a nice stomach on him. Really healthy fish. I don't see any hook marks on this one, but really healthy fish. I don't think he's been caught before, except for me. But he's cold, and that's not different because it's fall and the water's changing and turning over and stuff like that. So, we'll go ahead and let this guy go right here. There he goes. Another technique you can do when you're jig fishing, instead of going straight up and dragging it across the bottom, you can turn to the side and you're kind of hopping it along the bottom, but you're not really hopping it. You're just kind of making it glide across the bottom, just on the bottom of the pond or the lake. But you don't want really erratic motion when you're fishing the jig. You want it to be kind of subtle, but not too subtle to where the fish won't notice it. Alright, guys, leaving the pond now. I didn't have any success on the swim jig, but we did have a pretty good day. Well, I had a pretty good day. I think I caught like 3 or 4 fish on the jig. But hope you guys enjoyed the video. And don't forget about the channel situation. If you forget or don't know what I'm talking about, refer to the beginning of the video, just so you can get a clear reminder about that, so you don't mess up about anything or forget who we are. But the videos will keep coming out as I keep going fishing. But I'm in school right now, so it's sometimes pretty hard to get out and go fishing. We'll see you guys next video.